Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I am the USBC's Senior Communications and Program Coordinator, and I am excited to walk you through the U.S. Breastfeeding Committee's latest resource, Individualized Breastfeeding Reports for every state and territory. Each report demonstrates how federal funding investments in infant feeding are making a difference in your state or territory. They show how breastfeeding rates and other measures compare to national levels, list the coalitions serving that area, and highlight state and community-based lactation projects made possible through federal funding in 2020. In this brief video, I'm going to walk you through the reports, pointing out key features, and then talk about the impact that you and your organization can have on federal appropriations by using this report, including action you can take right now. Each report uses the same structure and opens by examining the breastfeeding rates in that state or territory as compared to national rates and Health People 2020 targets. So I'm going to be using my home state of Illinois as our example, and we can see in this first table here that we are displaying breastfeeding initiation rates next to the largest disparity between racial or ethnic groups in that state using birth certificate data from CDC's National Vital Statistics System. This was a really exciting addition to this year's reports because it adds an equity lens to the very beginning of the report, which is really central to our approach to our PSE change work. Next table, we can see key data points from the CDC's breastfeeding report card, including the state's MPINK score. Now, if I were walking through this report with the legislator's office, I'd point out that while Illinois was only a percentage point off of the national average for breastfeeding initiation, we're seeing a greater difference in the CDC breastfeeding report card data, especially with exclusive breastfeeding at 6 months, any at breastfeeding at 12 months, and formula supplementation at 2 days. Although we're still pretty close to the national averages, so there's room for improvement and investment in lactation in my state, especially looking beyond initiation. The final part of our rate section looks at the WIC breastfeeding performance measures from the Food and Nutrition Service Office from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Once again, we can see that Illinois is close to national rates, but there's room for improvement. This whole first page or first section of the report establishes what's happening with breastfeeding rates in each state and territory, and it goes a step further to contextualize those numbers through national rates and the Health People 2020 goals. Next, the reports highlight federally funded lactation projects in Illinois that are related to lactation and breastfeeding. This is a really unique feature of the report because we pulled together information that's usually separated on different websites. There's a lot of Googling that you'd have to do to kind of like find this information. Now it's all in one place and it's easy to see what's going on in your area. The previous iteration of this report highlighted 5 programs from 2 federal agencies. This year, we really wanted to cast a wider net. So by working together with our federal partners, we identified 11 programs from 3 agencies. Every report doesn't feature every program, but I think that we painted a much more comprehensive picture of the federal money that's being invested into lactation in your state. Every report includes this top line item about the $9 million that was invested in the CDC hospitals promoting breastfeeding line item. This funding supports things like data collection and reporting to track breastfeeding rates and guide efforts to improve breast support, promotion and implementation support for best practices in healthcare settings that's described in the 10 steps to successful breastfeeding, as well as encouragement for obstetricians, pediatricians, and nurses to educate families about breastfeeding, partnerships with states to help employers support lactating employees with places to pump and store milk, flexible work hours and maternity leave benefits, and promotion of community supports like peer counseling and supplemental nutrition programs. The rest of this section is unique to your state or territory. You can see the SPAN is a great example of this, that each program includes a description of the scope of work and specific information when needed, like the SPAN blurb or the MTAP blurb that's below. So you can see here that Illinois is working with an innovation grant from SPAN. Our state perinatal quality collaborative is being supported by the Division for Public Health. We have a block grant that's chosen in our state that's chosen increasing percentage of infants who are breastfeeding, who are ever breastfed and breastfed exclusive as one of their performance measures, a Healthy Start investment, the MTAP program, as well as quite a few WIC agencies that received breastfeeding awards of excellence. Finally, the report closes with information on breastfeeding coalitions in your state or territory. As the National Breastfeeding Coalition in the US, we're really proud to amplify and support the unique power of coalitions of every size in each state and territory. The report includes state, regional, tribal, and community and cultural coalitions. So with all of that information, the rates, the programs, coalitions. You can see that this report is really a one-stop shop for having an interconnected and organized look at how federal dollars are being invested into lactation in your state or territory. Now I want to show you how to access the reports on our website and share them with your elected officials. So if you go to the USBC homepage at usbreastfeeding.org, then navigate to the Policy and Actions tab and select State Breastfeeding Reports, you'll arrive on our landing page. You can see that there's a lot of information here that we've already covered, so let's scroll down. On this page, you can either choose to download your report from this table here, or using one of our tools, you can send your report directly to your members of Congress. Sticking with Illinois, I'll select the tool that is for states and territories between Alabama and Iowa. And you can see that my information is already populated here, since unsurprisingly, I've taken action with the US Breastfeeding Committee before. The messages we've populated this tool with directly link the reports with a really critical and timely action opportunity. Having the final fiscal year 22 federal budget include a total federal investment of $10.5 million in that CDC Hospitals Promoting Breastfeeding line item. This is a great way that these reports can actually make an impact right now. It's easy to take action with just a couple pieces of information that one of my senators requires. And just like that, my report is off to their offices with a note saying that I support this specific line item's funding. I hope that this presentation has highlighted the unique features in these state breastfeeding reports and inspired you to take action with us. Thank you so much for your time and attention.